In chapter 2.9, you read about non-standard and unexpressed quantifiers. Remember that our standard form categorical statements have three possible quantifiers: all, no, or some. And what those are doing is they're telling us how many of the subject category is being referred to in the statement, okay? But of course, out in our real world, we're going to encounter statements all the time that do not have all, no, or some as their quantifiers. We're going to have statements like this: a few people are playing shuffleboard. Now, when we're encountering a statement that we have to translate into standard form that does not have a standard form quantifier, the easiest way to begin is by just asking ourselves, is this statement telling me something about all of something or just some of something? In this statement, we're being told a few people. Not all of them, just a few. Some. Some people are people playing shuffleboard. Similarly with a statement like this: many soldiers are heroes. Many, a lot. Not necessarily all. Just some soldiers are heroes. Not every dog is named Rex. Some dogs are not dogs named Rex. We could translate it as an O statement. We could also do it as an I statement. Some dogs are dogs not named Rex, right? So we have there two versions of our original statement, and they both work because they're just versions of one another. Now, what is that a statement like this? Anyone who votes is a citizen. Is that telling us about all of something or just some of something? Anyone who votes is a citizen. Okay, when we encounter words like this, anyone or everyone, anytime, every time, we're talking about all. Okay. Now, a challenge may come up. Is this telling me something about all voters or all citizens? And when we're not clear about that at the beginning, maybe what we do is we just create both versions, right? All citizens are voters or all voters are citizens. And we say, well, which of those seems to capture the original? And I would argue to you that when you tell me that anyone who votes is a citizen, that's not telling me that all citizens are voters. Because anyone who votes is in fact a citizen, but there are lots of citizens that don't vote. So we're going to go with all voters are citizens. So think about that. Anytime you're not sure what the subject and predicate terms are, just write out two statements with the term switched and see which one seems to be a more accurate reflection of the original statement. None of the customers ordered the tempeh burger. I wonder why. Okay? So is this telling us about all of something or none of something? And again, it's telling us about all of them. No, none of them. No customers are people who ordered the tempeh burger. Or we could do the inversion of that. All customers are people who did not order the tempeh burger. All right? How about this one? Kids are playing in the soccer park. Is that talking about all kids or just some kids? I would argue to you that this is talking about just some kids, okay? So we're going to translate that as some kids. Not every kid that exists, just some kids are kids playing soccer in the park. But look at this statement, which is very similar to that one. Elephants are pachyderms. Is that telling us about all elephants or just some of them? And we'd say, well, no, that, in this instance, it's telling us about all elephants. They all are in this category of thing called pachyderms. Now, these two statements illustrate a really important point for us, and that is that sometimes when we have unexpressed quantifiers, which is what we have here, we're going to have to make a guess, an educated guess, about what the likely intent of the statement was. So that if I say something like, oh, wow, check it out, birds are flying around in my backyard, you don't think that I'm saying that every bird that exists is now flying around in my backyard. You just think there's some birds. But when I tell you, look, dogs are canines, that's different. Now I'm telling you something about every dog, that they're members of the category of canines. So when we encounter these unexpressed quantifiers, we want to think really carefully about what the likely intended meaning of the original statement is or was.